Welcome everybody to the Last City Radio episode number 89. Man, I cannot believe we finally make it to about 89. We got to give that one a round of applause. We made it. Such a wonderful time to be a podcaster. Thank you. It's been such a pleasure, guys. You know, we made it through this journey for a long time. We've been on the grind since 2018, and all right, we had our anniversary on November 8th, so it's pretty cool to finally be in the game and be recognized by so many wonderful Destiny peers in the community, and just by you guys, all the viewers. I appreciate every single one of you guys for always tuning in, always excited to hear what's next in the Destiny weeks when it comes to Bungie and just expansions and all that type of stuff. We always like to have fun here. So that being said, if you can't make it to the show, to the live tonight, don't worry. We always post on Sunday the show on Spotify, so that way you can listen to it and watch it on your days off, whether you're working out or just going to the grocery store. So you can always tune in to some Destiny discussions. That being said, definitely want to introduce my co-host. The guy is not only solid, very knowledgeable, but he always just so knowledgeable with tech, whatever it comes to the industry or being a Sherpa. It doesn't matter. This guy is always helping out the community. I want to introduce to you guys my co-host, Jared Darker. How you doing?
What's up again, Carlo?
Hey, man. What's going on with you, man? What's been up with you?
Another day in paradise. It's been a big week for Destiny.
Yes, indeed, man. I mean, just a lot of content coming out. We've been waiting for a while, so we finally got it. And I cannot wait to hear what you think.
I'm sure we'll get to it, but that dungeon is dope, dude.
Yes, absolutely, man. Crazy stuff. I love the aesthetic and everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely gonna get to
anything I want in a fantasy, anything you want in a fantasy game. But like I said, we'll get into it. Like I said, it's been a big week in Destiny.
Absolutely, yeah, that for sure. But man, we got some great superstar guests coming on.
Oh, do today. We ever?
Yes, we do. So I want to take this time to actually introduce one of them. So I definitely want to introduce a guardian whose passion, love for Destiny and its community does not go unnoticed. Whether it's just having hilarious conversations with her fire team, to healing guardians suffer from mentally and also being a solo warlock like she does it, and always singing songs with great pride and joy. I definitely want to introduce to you guys. This is Carly Moore. How you doing?
Hello! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you mentioned my singing. Thank you so much. Most people don't like my singing, but thank you. I'm finally recognized for it. Thank you, world. Probably not on this podcast. I'll save your ears for now.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here, though. Thank you for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here with us. Actually, it's definitely an honor and a pleasure to have you on, for sure. I do want to ask you, how was your week? How's everything been going? What's been going on with you?
It's been great, thank you. Been really busy. We've headed into the new season in Destiny, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, just been spending time at home with the dogs when I've not been online, doing Sherpas in the community. So yeah, just been quite busy with the new seasonal stuff. But I do try and relax with the dogs. I have French bulldogs, so been cuddling up to them because it's quite cold here now.
I bet.
Yeah.
I'm in a warm area, and I was going to say, I thought it was cold in my area. I can't imagine where you're at.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. When we let them out tonight, we finally got some snow, so it's here.
Okay, nice. So, I definitely want to introduce our other special guest. So, I want to introduce a guardian who has shown his passion for Destiny and as large as life. Not only does he Sherpa like nobody's business, but he always loved to voice act on his spare time with funny characters from Destiny. and also an anime personality that he has. I definitely want to introduce the wonderful Mr. Big Daddy TJ. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, thanks so much. That was a great intro.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta roll out the red carpet, man. Got to.
Nothing but quality around here.
I love that.
That's right. So I do want to ask you, man, what's been going on with you? I know you've had a crazy week yourself. What's been happening, man?
It's been a real busy week. I mean, this has been something I've been looking forward to this week in Destiny, since it was announced, because I'm a big sucker for anything Awoken and Dreaming City and Aham Cars and all that kind of stuff. So,
I'm with you.
yeah, they kind of had me right away. I didn't even really have to see it before I knew I was going to love it. And turns out it's a great season to boot, so I'm being rewarded for my dedication.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you nailed it right on the head, man. I'm having a good time. I always loved the Dreaming City and everything, all the aesthetics. Mara's all one of my favorites as well. And just being able to go back, see a ribbon again is, man, I love it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
For sure.
I do want to ask all you two that we got a couple questions I want to ask you. But before we do that, I definitely want to say how you doing, chat. I appreciate you guys. I'll definitely read the comments from time to time. I appreciate every single one of y'all for being here. It's a pleasure. We're gonna have a good time tonight. So, hey, salute to all of you and thank you guys. Thank you, Luminous Zero, for the follow. Appreciate you, sir. I definitely want to ask both of you guys, since I have both of you guys here. So, when did you start gaming? Like, what was your gaming history? So, I definitely want to go with you, Carly, right quick. What was your gaming history like?
Well, when I was really young, we weren't too well off. So my first gaming history was when we were gifted a BBC computer for some gardening work that my dad did on a friend's house, and so that was when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And that entailed Space Invaders, so we loved that game so much. So that was my first sort of game, and then a little bit of Commander Keen as I got older. These are very old games. You're probably all much younger and have no idea what that is. But then a little fast forward a few years, the PlayStation was released, and that was the first console we could really afford. And my mum and dad brought that as a share present for my brother and I. So the first game I really got heavily into was probably Spyro the Dragon.
Yes.
And I liked being able, as you teach, I liked the other worlds dimension of that, and being able to escape from childhood that had some ups and downs in it, and being able to be this cute little dragon and really feel like I was part of this other fantasy world that I could like dissolve into when I felt really low. So yeah, Spyro was where it went to. And then I spent 15 years in World of Warcraft. Again, lots of dragons. And then unfortunately became disabled, backed off a little from PC gaming, went to Xbox, where again Spyro was available, so played a little bit of that. But liked a bit of Red Dead, a bit of COD, and found myself into shooters there. So that's when I picked up Destiny 2, and eventually have transitioned to PC. So it's been quite a ride. And here we are now.
That's just amazing, especially Spyro. You're like, come on. Where is the Where's the new Spyro at?
I know. More Spyro.
Where can I get that Breath of the Wild version of Spyro?
I know.
That would be wild. That would be wild if they did that.
The crossover. Just think of Destiny 2 Spyro crossover.
Let's do it.
You never know. The armor.
Hey, with what's going on, I was going to say, with the season, that would be a good one.
That would be nice.
Spyro and the Aham Cars. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Final boss is Spyro.
Spyro
but no, the final boss would be those damn rings you had to fly through on Spyro. The flying puzzles. Was not a fan.
We gotta have that, Bungie. You listen. We need that. We need that for sure.
The next summit, we'll bring it up.
There you go. Please. There you go. Write it down. So, Tej, we got to hear from you, man. How did you start in gaming, man? What's that whole catalog of history like?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I guess I remember very distinctly the first time I played a video game, and it was my aunt who was in college or just out of college. I can't really remember. Her roommate had a Sega Genesis, and
Yes.
at one point when I visited them, I was allowed to sit and play with it. And of course, I think I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I really didn't have a concept of what I was doing, so I just kind of, it was Sonic, and I had a blast. And
Let's go.
you know, hold forward, right? That's how you play Sonic on the Genesis.
Thanks.
And I really fell in love with it. And eventually, I forget the catalyst that brought it upon, but like my birthday that year, the roommate gave it to my parents to give to me the console with a controller on it. So I was actually
Nice.
gifted my first Sega Genesis from my aunt's college roommate. And so I played Sega Genesis for a while, and I eventually got into N64 and Pokemon on the Game Boy, and kind of like grew into the Nintendo culture from Sega. And eventually, like a lot of kids in my generation, you know, this is before you owned all consoles. Your household picked one. Some of you guys don't remember those times, but
Oh,
that was a thing. And so I had, my best friend had Xbox, my cousin had GameCube, and I had another homie from school that had a PlayStation 2, and I had to, it was time. The N64 was aged out, and I had to make my decision. And I picked the box. I picked Xbox, the original Xbox. And I've been in the Xbox family kind of ever since. Obviously, I think at this point in my life, as a working adult, I now own all the platforms, so I play wherever, you know, as the games are. But, you know, really it stuck with Xbox until Destiny 2 went to PC, and then I got a gaming rig, and now I play on PC for the most part with Destiny, at least. And I would say that my game time is split up between it's about 85 Destiny, 15 everything else that I try to play and get through. So
Feel that.
Yeah.
It's so funny you mentioned that about having to pick a console, because you remember how your friends would be like, no, don't go with that one, because you couldn't play with your friends unless you had the same one. And we're so lucky to have crossplay now.
I know it.
But wow.
I mean, and really, this is, you know, Halo 2 kind of brought the advent of online gaming together with 2 consoles.
I was going to say
the world, I guess.
Really, I was going to say the Xbox was the only one that had online for quite a while. So if you wanted to play with friends, you had to have an Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a big selling point.
Yeah, and it was tough for people that had grown up with the PlayStation to put that down and go for a new console that was the Xbox. And then we came to love that little box, you know, and yeah,
definitely.
And that's the thing, like, it's just seeing all the generations that we've seen, and we've all grown up seeing just the different generations of gaming. It's crazy how things are now versus when we were back then. Back then, blowing on cartridges, making sure you love the discs just to make sure everything is good.
I mean, I
can't have scratches on them.
Yelling at my little brother for the scratches.
Yeah, the siblings were the worst about that stuff.
Yeah,
but I remember. I thought that the height of gaming was when you could get the add-on pack for the N64 controller that would let you put your Game Boy game on the TV. And I could just play Pokemon Yellow on the TV.
I remember that.
Man, this is living. Like, you know, you just sat back and I'm like, 3-inch screen, my behind. I'm playing on the TV now. Like, 8-bit Pikachu looks way better when he's 2 feet tall. That's freaking awesome. You know?
Did you want a Game Boy for Christmas? No, I need the pack.
The pack.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to play on the TV.
We're so lucky with the ease of things now as well, with like you can airdrop things, but back then you'd have to get behind the TV, which was about 5 foot tall and 3 foot deep, and you had to get right on back there, and it was dusty as all
Red,
anything.
White, yellow.
Yes, the wires. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And then when the screen's tripping out, you had to go wiggle the cables. You had to find that perfect spot.
Yeah.
Just duct tape it there.
Someone's holding
we've lost
it.
Any semblance of youth from the viewers of the show.
I know, right? They've all tuned out.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the 30-plus crowd's the only people that are left in them.
My day.
I was coming up.
Yeah, you've got Gran holding the wire. Yeah, don't move, Gran. I've got it perfectly now.
You had to when you had the big pot, like really just like you had to do everything. You had the big box TVs, and those things were heavy, man.
Heavy. Yeah.
And the
They were the
loading
worst movie.
times. The console was like a
We thought they were
5-minute
so
journey.
fast back then.
Yeah. But if you play
Next
them
gen.
now, what a journey in nostalgia! Like the startup screens, everything, aren't they? Like looking back at this, wow.
Now, if something takes more than 5 seconds, I'm like, I need a new SSD.
Right. It's like I need one.
Yeah.
I need one now. And it's funny because especially when you go back and play some of the old games, is it just me or like when you haven't touched one a minute, you go back play one of your old consoles and your eyes just like, oh man.
Yeah, they need to adjust a minute.
This.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to all of the new flashy graphics and all this stuff, and then going back to it, it's like, oh man, I feel like I'm downgraded watching.
It gets me how we go from like small to big to small to big. So we have the Game Boy Micro. We had a massive Game Boy, and things that are handheld, and then things that are big, like a gaming PC, and then you have things coming out now that seem to be going back to the sort of PSP times, like the Steam Decks and things like that. It's amazing how things are cyclical like that and really evolve and then come back around though with a bit of improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's mind blowing. Just the whole thing. So I do want to ask you guys also, how did you guys get into streaming first? I do want to ask you guys before I even ask about the Destiny one. I want to ask you, what inspired you guys to get into streaming? Who inspired you to get into streaming? Tell us about that. So I'll go with TJ first.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I didn't think I was ever going to be a streamer, to be honest. That was not something I had kind of on my radar. I knew I loved gaming and community, and when Destiny 1 was a game, I really it still is a game, but when I was playing it as a main, I was the clan leader, and I got really into running the clan through the Bungie net platform. And to the point where I would do like raid recaps where I would write up the raid experience into like a 500 word recap and post it on the wall of who got what loot drops and the funniest moments, and like almost like a what you would do for like a stream, right? Like
did you save those? Because I want to read those.
I wish. I'll have to go back and see. I think all that stuff's been deleted from their site. I'd have to see it because I would write it in the website. Like I don't know if it's still around. I have to see if they maybe it's archived somewhere. It would be like
reading an old diary entry for you.
Honestly,
wow.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember in about 2016, I was working at a really toxic job, and it was a environment that asked me to kind of compromise my integrity in more ways than I was willing to kind of do. And it was unfortunately one of those jobs that they try to just pay you so well that it doesn't
pay away the morals.
That doesn't seem to matter. Yeah. And that was, I was kind of raised in a household that values your integrity higher than anything else. So I left that job kind of without any plan or prospect or anything. And I got home and it had been I'd been working there for a while, and I was really burnt out. I had a whole bunch of medical problems from all the stress, and I was trying to figure out like I got to do something next. And my wife said, why don't you take some time and just hang out, and why don't you do a stream? And I was like, so I did, and I did one, and I played Resident Evil 7 was my first stream the day it came out.
Okay.
And I remember, like, just like everybody, when you start, it's just you talking to the wall. There's like two people there, and like they never say anything, and and it's just and you're just narrating your own experience, and I kind of fell in love with it. So it was really my wife's idea to even started it all, and I instantly kind of just started to think this is a blast, and I really enjoyed it. It became my passion, my favorite hobby for 5 years until I took it full time. Just in 2021, or 22.
That's so cool.
So I have not been full time very long, but it's been a lovely 6-year journey.
Okay, so
long may it continue,
Big Mama
please.
TJ.
Yeah. And I don't mean to. I just don't want to confuse folks. Watch it doesn't really matter too much, but just T just fine. Don't have to. There's no hard J in my And that's from my mom. My mom can. She's the TJ caller, but just Teej is fine for gaming purposes if that's easier.
Okay, and
You mean we don't have to call you Big Daddy every time?
Well,
What?
yeah, I mean, you can if you like.
Wow.
That's more of a personal preference.
I get it.
Luminous Zero asked. He said, "Okay." He said he just wanted to ask about the current Pokemon game and is excited. Is he excited for the DLC? He wanted to ask you, Carly, are you excited about the Pokemon DLC game if you have it?
Oh, I think you
Actually,
wanted
they were
to
asking
ask
Teach that too.
Teach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, is Teach you doing it?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Okay, I see that there. Sorry, I just looked at the chat. I play Scarlet. I've played almost every Pokemon game. I love Pokemon. It's one of my favorite franchises in history. I think that Scarlet is a incredibly ambitious title that really pushes the genre or the franchise Pokemon forward. However, I think that it was not given enough time to be fully developed. I also think it needs much stronger hardware to live up to the expectations that they probably thought that it wanted it to do. That being said, I had fun with it. I'm playing the DLC right now, the first one. I'm excited for the second one to come out. I think that Pokemon's Pokemon. It's always gonna be fun. But I hope that Nintendo kind of embraces stronger hardware and more development time for Pokemon if they really want to go to like a full kind of open world Breath of the Wild style experience for that game.
I like the way that I definitely like the way that like Pokemon is going, but like you said, like what's going on with a lot of games nowadays is like there's hardware issues, there's development issues.
Yep.
I agree, and also too, since we on our all things gaming, we talked about the Switch 2 that'll be coming out next year, and so this is their time and their chance to really say, okay, we can, because we do hear rumors that they do have another what was that Pokemon, the that open world one before Scarlet came
Sword
out.
and Shield?
Not that one. It was the game after that.
Arceus, Legend Arceus.
Yes. Yeah, so they're coming out with another one, and this one is supposed to take place in black and white. I think it's black and white's era.
Okay.
Region. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that would be.
Yeah, and thinking about it with the Switch 2 coming out, that'll be something that they could put and now utilize. This is because we're hearing a lot about the upgrades for the Switch 2 and what it's going to be able to do graphically and just all over. It's about time, yes. So hopefully they change the game up when it comes to just the overall next Pokemon game in a bigger way.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I was actually disappointed that Scarlet and Brother had was like, why can't I change my outfit to the most snazzy outfit? I'm like, come on, man. Why did you take that out of the game?
They were killing
You boys and your drip. My goodness. Every game we get into. My goodness.
It's the real end game. Always.
Can't take you anywhere, can we?
Sword and Shield had awesome outfits that you could put on. It was the previous generation. It's like
it did.
I don't know why they took the best.
It's because they ran out of time. Nobody wants to talk about this, but they didn't have time to do these outfits.
Yeah.
What were those lessons about? Like those school lessons, the repetitiveness of that. That was a little bit something else, wasn't it?
The amount of times I fell asleep on my couch playing Scarlet when I was in the school with that school music on, trying to do that. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
it's like I'm back in real school. I'm falling asleep.
Your teacher's gonna come out. Yeah, I know, right? Must concentrate more in class, Teach. Wow.
Having dreams. Mr. Teach, do you know the answer? And you're like, oh God.
Yeah. Accidentally called the teacher mother or something. Like, Mommy.
I'm telling you, I felt the same way. I literally felt the same way. I was like, oh my God, please. I got to get past this immediately.
But also, like, I mean, when you talk about things Scarlet had going for it, like, they made the professors real hot. Like, I don't really get why that had to happen this generation, but both these professors are banging 10 out of 10 runway models. I'm like, what are we, Pokemon? What? Chill, dude. They're supposed to be old. These are...
Rated for 7+. What?
Right. 7+ is Awakening. Just like, like a man.
7 what, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, when Teach saw the professor, he was just like,
He
Yeah.
started paying attention in class then. Wow.
You sure it
Well,
was
it's like-
class?
I mean, I was trying to get extra credit, you know.
Yeah. And that's how the
Extra
anime
credit.
start. Yeah. Oh dear.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hey, and listen, I understand they changed the whole game because you remember back in the day it was like the muscle guys, the bodybuilder,
Yeah.
guys. They changed
Yep.
completely. It's like,
Yep.
okay, I see what y'all doing here.
And now the underground heroes, you know, an emo chick in skinny pants with an Eevee
I know.
backpack. Just- I'm like,
That's
all right,
me.
let's go.
That's literally me. You know, it's the longest fringe I can get. I'm not complaining. I'm the hero now. Bring it
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
You know?
Mhm.
It's my hour finally.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I've arrived.
Hey, listen, I can totally see that.
Yeah, me on the front cover of Pokemon. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm
Me and my
here.
Charizard.
Mm.
Well,
There's
hey,
something
that's
else.
going to be the evolution of things. Is with I don't like talking about AI really, but inserting ourselves into the game and into TV programs and things, I think will be the next thing. You know, like we want so much stuff personalized. I think it will be like about us. You know, games that we can play with us in the story, or tempering the story
Mhm.
somehow. To fit our ends, and we might be able to put our face on our character, like physically put our photographic image onto our characters, in years to come and things like that. So I think, who knows, I could be on the cover of Pokemon.
Did
I
any
don't
of
know,
you guys
many
watch
people wouldn't buy that, but
Carry on the
I would
new,
buy it. Are you kidding me?
Carry on
wow,
that.
thank you. I got 3
Carry
copies
is-
sold. Right, awesome.
and the minute
Sign me up,
you show
Nintendo.
up, hey Carrie, the minute you show up,
I love that. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, my
Did
theme
any of you guys
music.
watch the Apple keynote for their new headset? Like the
No.
No, I
I
haven't.
don't know what that looks like.
I want to say it's called like Apple Vision Pro, but I can't remember if that's the name of the product.
It's
or not.
something Apple, I'm sure. Yeah.
Something like that. It's Apple
Mm.
something,
Something
but it's
with
essentially
Apple.
it's a VR headset, sort of,
Mm.
that doubles as an AR headset.
Mhm.
And
Ah.
the idea is that it is fully closed off, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
it uses high definition cameras to project your room to you and allow you to interact with programs like Tony Stark.
What?
And you can just start like
Oh,
it's very,
wow.
very cool. I highly recommend you watch the keynote for the Apple
Oh,
Vision
yeah.
Pro thing. Take
I
the
gotta watch
20
that.
minutes or whatever. It's fantastic. But the reason I bring it up is because they show off that you can take FaceTime calls on this device. And I thought to myself, well, that's kind of strange. Like how would they would you wouldn't have a camera, I guess, because you're wearing a
It'd be
headset.
your
You'd be able
eyeball,
to see
wouldn't it?
them, right? But
Right.
well, yeah, you could. It might be as an external camera. How does it work? But turns out that the high def cameras inside the device will 3D scan your face and
What?
project you as like a CG avatar of you, not like a memoji,
Help
like
me,
a
Obi-Wan.
real rendered,
You're
like
my
an
only
uncanny
hope.
valley kind of like. And they showed off the tech, and like it was a little uncanny valley, but at the same time, I'm like, this is actually kind of dope because like.
Right.
It's
like you
literally
have your own VTuber thing, just-
R2D2. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Princess Leia, like when
Yeah.
she's when he projects her. Oh my goodness. I
And
need
it
it.
was
That's
really,
dope.
really cool to see. So, like, check this out because I think that's the
Yeah.
future of like what you were talking about, Kira, of inserting ourselves into games. Like, if this
Yeah.
technology exists, where say
happening.
there's
Sword Art
tie into
Online.
Apple Vision Pro. If you have this headset, this game supports it. Now you just use your Apple Vision Pro scan, upload it to the game, and now you're in the game. Like, there's the technology there is like there's some weird like it could be really cool in the
Yeah.
near future.
We talking that Sword
I'm
Art
looking
Online
at-
talk, man. I'm telling you.
I was about to
Mm.
say that as he was talking.
Mm.
I'm like, bro, I've seen Sword Art Online. Okay, I don't know.
I'm in.
We're heading towards that. We're heading towards that.
Never
Literally.
coming back to the real world again.
I'm gonna come back
so
to.
now I think Jarrett just answered the question. But would you go comatose to play video games? Because I totally would. I would
Yeah.
absolutely do it.
I would have to try it. I would have to try
Well,
it.
like a bit like Neo Matrix style, where we're sort of like,
Yeah, like you jack in.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
plug in the back of your head. I'm glad you said in then, and nothing else. So you have like a little plug in the back of your head or something?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd want that.
You
But
wouldn't have a plug inserted? Wow.
And you jack in, and then it says on the screen flatline.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, Carrie, you gotta watch Sword Art, Carrie.
I will. That's what I was gonna say. I literally was gonna say, bring me back on another podcast with TJ, and I'll let you know what I think of. Of Sword Art. Yeah, just
Teach
a
coming back
one-off.
for part 2.
Yeah.
No
That's
doubt,
funny.
no doubt. We got to talk. We would do a whole anime stint. We can do a whole anime stint where we just bring you guys on and we just all talking.
Carrie becomes a weeb. I'm here for it.
Got a working title already.
Yeah,
we got it. We already got it right there. Coming soon, y'all. Coming soon.
The final episode is just I've arrived.
I've arrived. So I definitely want to ask you guys. You kind of mentioned a little bit about how you got into Destiny. Did you I just want to ask you how did you love Destiny when you first came in it, and do you still have the same excitement that you did when you first started? So especially if you was a Destiny 1 vet or you started in vanilla Destiny 2. I definitely want to go to you, Kari. Do you still have the same passion that you did when you first started Destiny?
Well, I'll just say as well that I started streaming by I pressed the go live button because I wanted to find more friends to play with, and literally just started going live on my Xbox to start with. There was no overlay or panels on that then, and there was no chat. I looked at it on my phone, which is really awkward. And I was literally, like Teej said, there were no people watching me, and I was quite disheartened at that to start with. And I thought, no, I'm literally just doing this to make friends. No one's ever going to watch me. I'm no one. No one will find my stream. Like, how would they find me? And then people started.
When they start.
I know, and people started coming in and more, and I would be myself, and just tell silly jokes and sing as I do. And I just started to make friends, and we played the game. And then people would say, "Can I play with you?" Yeah, that's cool. And that's how it grew. And eventually I decided that, it was so annoying to read chat on a laptop screen, which kept turning off, that I wanted a gaming computer and actually play properly. And I started with my one screen and my laptop balanced on the desk, and then I got my 2 monitors. I thought, oh my goodness, this is a spaceship. I don't deserve 2 monitors. I'm not good at the game, but wow, I couldn't live without them now. But yeah, that's how I started anyway. And Destiny, I started, I was sitting in a cafe meeting up with a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time. And he said, oh, this is this really cool game. We used to play World of Warcraft together. And he said, you should try Destiny. And Destiny 1 had already been out for a little bit. But he said, you're not allowed to play Destiny 2 until you've tried Destiny 1 and got through the story. So got through that. Loved the Iron Wolf story and, Saladin's part in that. It's probably my favorite. Played all the story and I was like, let me at Destiny 2. I can't wait. And that was Red War. Red War was out. So I was very lucky to be there through all of the expansions pretty much in Destiny 2 before they've been vaulted. And my journey with Destiny 2 has been up and down really throughout the expansions and things. I think I've had some really fantastic experiences. I've had a lot of negative ones, but they are really down to probably reactions of other people in the game. I think it's very much an evolving world, and it depends very much on how other people around you who you play with also react to the game and what's in it. And I think it can have seasonal depression, I think, Destiny. And we can be in a bit of a rut sometimes, and it can feel like it's not going to get better. And then we can get something like Warlord's Ruin, for example, and we're all like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, and it could be incredible. But then there could be vaulting content and, the monetization and things like that, and the layoffs, of course, that really bring people down. So my my answer to that question is yes, I'm still 100% in love with it. I call Destiny my uncle, like my family member that I love forever. I will always love. I don't like them all the time, but I always love them, and I'm not ever going to get rid of them, but I'm not always wanting to see them, and I don't always get on with them, but I will always love them. So that's my answer to that, really.
And I think with Destiny, especially, like you're mentioning, like the the positivity around it, there is a lot of it, but it's just unfortunately when there is something negative with Destiny 2, it's something big. But like the
Yeah.
positivity way outweighs the negative, and sometimes
Yeah.
there's
Yep.
just slumps.
And social media is
Absolutely.
a big thing with that. Twitter, especially. I think it's so easy to put something out behind a keyboard with an anonymous name and handle, no picture, and not expect any repercussions and fire it out in a second in the heat of the moment. And then you might disagree with that an hour later, even 30 seconds later, or you might stick to it. The effect it has on other people, maybe they do agree, maybe they don't, but it can start, I'll read 300 comments. I'll sit there in bed and read 300 comments from people arguing about Trials of Osiris, and
Oh God, yeah.
it's like the most divisive subjects in this game. Anything competitive where people can
Yep.
have an opinion is going to bring negativity, but it's also
Oh,
going to
yeah.
bring the most fun experience playing with your mates. So if you can handle it, it's amazing. I love it.
It's always those people that be, I think that this think of that because I'm so tired of the game. Like they always do it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, listen,
What
you
I
gotta
don't
understand.
like as the last thing is what I really don't like is the scapegoating. Like people,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
to name drop, but Salter Greppo's to blame for everything. He's nerfing
Mhm.
Div, he's doing this, he's doing that. I don't like the scapegoating. I think
No.
Destiny is stepping away from having public figures. I think Joe really now is the only person we really have in the firing
Yeah.
line. Even the twids that were twabs are now signed off Destiny team. And it is a helpful, but it leaves Joe singularly in the firing line. I've read some of the most horrible things about that poor man, who I think, having, Tej and I were in a meeting with him recently, I think he's lovely. I think he's a really nice person from what, I've seen of him, and I judge people the way I find them. I think it's so easy to scapegoat someone. I just don't like that about, but I think that's in any world. I think we're too quick to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where it's like a lot of times, especially when you have an opinion about certain things, and I, it's one of those things you understand. People are gonna always have their opinions about something. Hey, I think this need a little bit tuning, or
Yeah, it's that my
man.
opinion's more valid than yours,
hmm
isn't it? That's the problem.
Exactly. That's the
Mm.
problem. That's the thing, and that's the thing that makes when it comes to a healthy community, it's always about listen. We all are gonna have opinions about certain things. We don't have to fight about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
if you
reason.
don't like what somebody say, that's fine. But you don't have to. Oh, I don't like what you're saying, so now I'm going to have to pitchfork you.
Yeah,
That?
there's
That's
healthy
just. I think
debate
that's
and
just nuts.
discourse, isn't there? Yeah.
Exactly. We can have healthy debates. It's like, well, I don't personally think. I think it might hurt the game, but I'm willing to listen to what you got to say without
My
It's
having
big
to fight
like,
one.
anybody or tear
yeah,
My
somebody
big
it's
down.
like, go ahead.
one, whenever something's going on with Destiny, is that everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna suck," and it's like it hasn't even come out yet. You don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it could get personal. It's like what
Yeah.
I always say to people is like, Tej likes feta on his salad. I don't eat feta on my salad. Doesn't mean I don't like Tej. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can get very personal. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like the way you spell your name. How dare you get out of my game? Like, I don't like that one particular figure behind you. It's looking at me funny. I mean, I
is.
thought it moved
It
earlier, but
really is. Yeah.
you know what I mean. It gets so personal. And I saw Liana's tweet about how I didn't realize it got that far, but I can imagine it did. Dylan, DMG,
Mhm.
and she had people coming up to them at the petrol station, the gas station, and shouting at them for things that they wanted changed in the game. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it would be like working at Bungie, trying to
Should
make
never do
positive
that.
change when it's not your decision to make anyway. It's not just their
Mhm.
singular job. So I feel for Joe right now, I really do.
What a time to go approach someone about something you don't
I
like on
know.
a computer game.
I hope
I'm just
she
trying
didn't
to get
go
my
over her
coffee and
numbers either, like,
yeah,
hope she only put
I'm
the
just
right
trying to
amount of
get a
dollars in.
I'm just trying to fill up the car and get a coffee. Like,
That's it.
Yeah.
go to the
mhm,
forum, okay?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, listen, man, outside of the studio, I'm just Joe.
Exactly.
You don't have to do all that. I'm just trying to live
Yeah.
my life like everybody else. You need to go and cool off and touch some grass. You ain't
Exactly
been outside
right.
for a long time. Come on.
Joe isn't Bungie 24/7. Joe has a family, he's
Mhm.
going to be like
Yeah.
everyone else. He's not an exo in real life that is sat there to answer everybody's questions. Or maybe he is, Joe. Can you answer that?
Right.
But yeah.
I think Esoteric said so.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Conspiracy.
I just think he's the guardian from lore. Like whenever
Yeah.
the
I
guardian
think
is
so.
mentioned, it's esoteric. I don't know.
Yeah. He's one of
Who
the
else could it be?
warlords.
Get a team of 6 to go tackle this huge challenge. No, you just need one esoteric.
Just one
That's all.
esoteric.
He's the real Saint 14. he can tackle any challenge and he always survive every time. That dude he's so legendary in the community. It's one of the things when you're a gamer, right? We're all gamers, right? But he takes it to the next level that I don't think anybody else realized what he's capable of doing, and just the amount of skill and work ethic it takes for him to put together an awesome build to survive just the most dangerous situations in Destiny by yourself.
He makes me feel
it's
like
crazy.
such a banana. Like I always like people like that give me such imposter syndrome. I'm like, why do I press go live? These people are amazing, I have that with Tej as well. I'm like, I'm such a piece of fruit. Like I literally, you amaze me. It's incredible.
Thank you.
A close example I can give to that is like at the last day 1 raid race. Like we had 2 people on my team who had never done a day 1 raid race before, and they're both very good players. They got into that raid race and they were like here we are 36 hours later, and they were like, I thought I was so good at this game until we got to here. And it's like, you are good, you just haven't done this. It's okay.
Day ones will hand your butt back to you with a check, like they're not
like the
not
other 4 of us are
for
tired
everyone.
too, don't worry.
We're all tired too, trust me. We're all making
Friendships
mistakes.
end over that, it's
God, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I never liked, especially when the LFGs, I'm sure you guys noticed that in the Destiny app, is you see a lot of people do the gatekeeping. You gotta have 500 clears in order. The raid just came out yesterday. What you talking about?
Yeah.
You gotta have the issue. It's like
in your clan
listen,
notes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's over the top.
Must have a KD of like 6 million,
I'm good. I can get myself out of situations. I've been a flawless before, solo and by myself. I'm considered a situational PvP player.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Same here.
I think I'm just
Sometimes
considered
I
a
have my days.
situation at this point. But don't worry.
But it's
I
true
don't
though.
think
It's
anyone
just like,
wants me in trials.
watch, you're gonna be popping off. But I thought you said you weren't good. Oh, I do a little
Is this my
things here and
season?
there.
Yeah, this is my season.
This is the
I've
one.
arrived.
This is it.
It's all about granting wishes.
The first time I did a solo flawless trials, my only one, because I got like 3, and because I'm not a huge PvP player, but I was like, let's give it a go on stream one day, and I got to the end, and I was like, guys, this is just blind effing luck. Like, I don't know how I'm at the lighthouse.
But how good did you feel, though? How good did you feel that you'd done that? Like, if
I
you
thought
do
I was
something
gonna
like
faint.
that, yeah. Like, if you get to the lighthouse or you clear a raid or something, the absolute like feeling in this game. I think is so good. Like the
Raid's
noise that
another
it makes in
Saturday
the
for
game,
me.
and
A raid's just another Saturday for me. When I did trials, I was like, I gotta go pinch myself real quick.
yeah. But there are PvPers who say that though, that they have that experience in PvE that they can't do, normal raids, and it's the other way around. But we have to think as well. We start doing PvE as soon as we step into the game. From day one, the game is PvE in Destiny. Not everybody sticks to, the same amount of PvP as they do PvE. So these people are so dedicated to go in every weekend. You see people like Jake, Golden Eagle, DeFizzle, anyone who stays in there for that amount of time. Like, I just have so much respect for it. It
is a completely different skill set, and like it's just one I cannot catch, and so good on them, because it's not one I can figure out.
And it's the thing, it's one of those things too, like even for me, I'm considered an all-around type of guardian, right? I play everything. I was always play everything. I'm pretty decent at everything for the most part. But I even remember when I first started doing PvP a lot, I was always terrified to try, even back in Destiny 1, because I knew I wasn't that good. I was okay. I could get myself out of a gunfight for a little bit. But there was this one guy who I used to know. He used to be an old co-host here right now. Salute to him, Snow Monkey. He's dealing with cancer and everything like that. Great guy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The thing about him, he was a crazy PvP guy, and he used to be he used to be military as well, and he actually did sniping in the military.
Oh wow!
So this guy was naturally good at sniping, like literally.
I wonder what he thought of it in the game. Then.
The most steady hand.
And this dude, every time we would jump in, the match would start. He already done sniped somebody. I'm like, dude, what? How are you doing that? And he was just a natural at it. And he always would teach. Crazy. He taught me how to snipe. He taught me how to really just hold your own in PvP. So I got a lot of skills from him, and trust me, it was a lot of work with him.
The funny thing is, and of course I can speak for this from experience, is you can actually transfer that experience to an FPS game.
Ask that. Yeah.
Because so I mean, I'm no sniper, but I am an expert marksman in real life, and
Isn't
just
the
being
gun
able
on the
to.
other side? Oh, sorry, I was. Is Destiny's left-hand shoot, isn't it? And other games right, or is it the other way around? Or is it the other way around?
No,
is it that thing
Destiny's
or is it
right
aim?
hand.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
there's something about the aim that's slightly different, though, isn't there? I was just wondering how, but I'll have to remember what that is. I was told there was something different about the way you aim in Destiny to some other FPSs. I'm not sure. I'll have to remember what that is.
Yeah.
But, how
but you can,
that,
but it's easy to it's easily transferable. I've told people there, because I haven't been playing Destiny long. Actually, I've only been playing since Shadowkeep. I have not been in it for too long. And people are like, dude, how do you keep it so steady? And I'm like, literally, I'm just able to keep my hand steady and
transferable skill.
And actually breathing technique works, especially when you're sniping. I was like, believe it or not.
Say that. Isn't it that you breathe in on your you'll be able to tell me this. Don't you breathe in on an aim and out on a shot, or is it the other way around? So that you
trigger
don't
pull
jiggle,
is an exhale.
Yeah, you don't jiggle
trigger pull is an exhale.
Sight.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
so interesting. Yeah.
As long as your hand is not everywhere and you're tapping it from up here, you just keep it steady. I mean, you'll hit it or you don't.
Well, yeah. How does that transfer on a 2D, like a 2D screen? Do you feel there's much difference with that? It's just really interesting to me.
I think the really hard part in Destiny is just people can move around so quickly. That's the difficult part.
Yeah, that's not normal human behavior, is it? To be able to move and to fly around in Icarus Dash around the sky.
I was just about to say, I'm not headshotting Icarus Dashes, I can tell you that.
I heat rise all the time in my daily life, don't you? I mean,
Don't-
I'm in the
don't-
sky right now.
Hey, as long as you keep floating left and right, you're safe from me.
Yeah.
Ali said TJ, when did Saturn Destiny become a ritual for you, and what inspired you to start? Thank you for the question.
Oh, gosh, that's a great question. Saturday Destiny started one day when I was thinking about just doing a stream at all on a Saturday, and I wanted to play Destiny. It was it was like a really like just let's make up a silly name and an excuse to play this game on this day.
That's so cool, though, the name.
Mhm.
And
I like it.
I think at that time, this was pretty early Destiny 2, Curse of Osiris Warmind kind of time. And Destiny did not have a very robust player base at that particular stretch of months. And for the people that were there, it was difficult to get end game content kind of stuff done because the Fire Team Finder on Bungie wasn't really a thing. So you're using third party, LFG kind of stuff to try to find people. And I just started offering out to help people because I was kind of done everything there was to do. Like a lot of folks that stayed with the game through that time were. And it turned out that was a really popular thing. And I knew kind of right away that I didn't want to be a quote unquote service streamer. I have all the respect in the world for people that do that with every piece of content that they do. I think that's a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of patience that I think that I wouldn't be able to maintain for a long time. But at the same time, fostering community and giving people an opportunity to engage with content that I definitely I have an advantage. I get to do any content I want anytime by asking any number of people to do it. And I think that's something that's very easily taken for granted. And so to be able to take a day once a week that is like a Saturday morning cartoons kind of vibe where it's just getting together with the community in the morning on the weekend and offering out a few hours in that day to kind of just say, hey, what can we help you get through that you can't find a team for during the week. I think it's a really special opportunity to be able to do that. And it became a ritual for me, I guess, to answer that question, just when people kept showing up and asking, kind of just almost like Saturday Destiny, you doing helps today? And it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah.
Why not?
It gives me the vibe of being sat next to you on the carpet with a controller, like even though we're on MK, like watching cartoons, but being stuck on like the boss and be like, Teach, can you just take the controller for this? I'm stuck on this bit. Can you just do this for me now, please? But like helping us through it in the game. Not like we were talking about cartoons that, and things like that. That kind of family feel, with your mate sitting like, oh, I'm stuck on this bit. Can you just help me? Like the Saturday morning, you just eat your fruity, colourful E-number cereal, and you're like, you're all ready to go. That's what that feels like. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a good time for sure.
That's awesome. Great question, by the way, chat. And I appreciate you guys for jumping in the chat, coming in. And for those who come in, welcome to the Last City Radio. Your gracious host, P. Carla Gaming, and you're tuned into Last City Radio. We're having a good time. So if you do have questions, just go ahead and type them, and I'll definitely try to get to them throughout the show. All right. Hey, that's pretty good, man. Great conversation. So I do want to ask you guys now, before we get on to the main treat, is name your top 5 games of all time to you. So first, TJ, sure, we'll be looking at what we got.
Man,
what we got.
Top 5 of all time. I admittedly saw that you were going to ask me this when we were talking about doing the show, and I sat down, I tried to write them down, and I ended up with a game of like.
You knew that there was a question on this? Oh my! I'm sat here like, oh my god!
Cheated.
Oh my
god! But the list is like 30 games long, which is not 5. So I'm trying to think of like if I really had to pick. I mean, okay, let's get number 1 out of the way.
The first time I was on this show, I was like, dude, I can't do 5.
Yeah, 5 is a tight squeeze. No. I think I could probably there's some that I can get down for sure. I mean, Destiny 2, number 1. Right? Like it's that's my favorite game of all time, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But the rest of my top 5, I think I got to give one slot. And these maybe don't necessarily have an order of ranking because Destiny is above them all. They kind of all just live in that top 5. But I'll say Resident Evil 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Pokemon Sword.
Hey, okay.
Very
okay.
good.
Halo 4.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And come at me. Catch these hands. See, say anything about Halo 4. I'll find you. All right.
He's arrived. Come on now.
So what's that? That's 4.
You need a
Destiny,
drum roll.
Resident Evil 4, Pokemon, and Halo 4. The last one, this is one guy kind of like. There are so many games that fill this spot that is not easy to say. I will say that for the maybe not shock value, but just the way that this game changed the way I think about what video games are in the medium as a whole. I will say the original BioShock is my final.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that because I didn't understand. I was kind of I grew up on Tony Hawk and Pokemon, and there's not a lot of narrative driven I played video games. You know what I mean? Like I was short stint play sessions and off to the races. BioShock was a blind buy for me at a GameStop.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was about. I asked the guy behind the counter. I said, "Hey, I want a new video game to play. What should I get?" And he said, "You should try this one." And I think it made me realize that you can tell an extremely effective narrative and evoke emotion from a player without the need for cinematics, cutscenes. You're playing these moments and you're experiencing these plot developments real time as the character, and I'd never played anything like that before. So to me, I guess I'll give that last spot to BioShock because I think that it opened my eyes to wow, video games are art, and this is this is a narrative that is better than a novel. It's better than a movie. This is something that I'm experiencing, and while I thought I was in control for so long, and I'm not, and I think that's the that type of effective storytelling is incredible.
Nice, great.
That's a
great
nice
choices.
list.
Absolutely, great.
People
choices,
think I only
for
play
sure.
Destiny, but turns out
I know, right?
Right?
And they don't like it when you play anything else. Like,
no,
Oh
they don't.
God,
this
ain't
is
that
not
the truth?
Destiny. What is
That's
this?
true.
Anytime I hop on something else, what's this?
Mm,
Why are you playing that? It's like
where
really?
Destiny? Question mark. Like where? Twab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the last
Carrie,
month of the season. Chill.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Oh,
you are
goodness.
next.
Okay, I'm glad I don't have to do this in a speedy fashion. These are my right now, so unlike somebody, I wasn't prepared for this question. So, without any hints of this, I'm going to just go with what comes into my head. So, the first game, they're all on the same level, or they're just my favorite 5 games, I think. So I'll probably think of one after and be like, no, wait, let me tell you something. Monkey Island. So I don't know if you've ever played Monkey Island, a pirate game.
For
I
sure.
love
For
Monkey
sure.
Island. That was one of my first PC games. Guybrush Threepwood. I love that game. It was like a point and click game, and it felt really expansive to me back then in the world. I played number 1. I did use a walkthrough because I was a child, but I wanted to complete a game, and it was the first game I 100%ed, and I did spend years trying to complete it by myself. I got about halfway through, and then I thought, you know what, I want to actually finish a game. So that's the first one I completed. I did use a walkthrough. Then the first game, I think I 100%ed the first game, and it was quite a late one. Because what I tended to do was buy the next new tile that my friends would play, and then I'd go on to the next one. But the first one that I really put a lot of effort into was Red Dead Redemption 2. So it was quite a late release, but I really enjoyed that. I love horses. I'm a horse rider in real life. I rescued my horse who was also visually impaired. We had a great dressage career, which is completely another story, but yeah, so horses in the game were like my draw to play that game. And I just love cowboys, and it was just such a cool game. So Red Dead, Monkey Island. Third game is another Xbox game, The Witcher 3. Really enjoyed that. I haven't watched the series The Witcher. I mean, I watched a bit of an episode, but it didn't
You
feel
can
like
skip it. It's not that good.
it didn't feel like the game to me. So I didn't enjoy it, and I see a lot of people that haven't played the game enjoying it, and I just think they watch it for Henry Cavill, you know. And I'm like, I don't
Can
really.
you blame
I
them?
mean,
Yeah.
can you blame it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a
Sweet
lot of my
business.
girlfriends are like, let me watch The Witcher, and I'm like, you haven't played the game, and they're like, no, girl, but you need to watch it, and maybe that's why. But I kind of like things that are true to the game. So we've got Monkey Island, Red Dead, The Witcher, Pokemon Pokemon Red, I think has to be
Yes.
in there. I really love Pokemon Red. It was I think it was probably the first one I played. Charizard, you know, like
Is
Charmander. Definitely a Charmander starter girl whenever I can be.
with you on that.
And then Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has to be Destiny 2. Other games, but those are the 5 that I would say have really been ones that I've invested the most time into. And I suppose I miss World of Warcraft, but that's not something that's currently in there for me. It was life changing, so I probably should have put that in there. But anyway, that's the 6th one.
Oh,
But
shoot.
yeah, I knew
The
I'd
6th
ruin
one.
it. Yeah,
I
I
have
like
to
to
add
think
Final
that
Fantasy 14. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
who
Oh,
gets me up with
yeah.
that, but I
Yeah,
have to add
yeah,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy 14 because I've been
Yeah,
playing
okay,
that
we
for
had a
like
top 6
3
each
years.
then. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 14 was my jam before I got into Destiny.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
yeah.
Teach
Yeah.
can have Final Fantasy 14, I can have WoW then, so we have a top 6. There we go.
There we go.
That'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jared, did your list change? Let's get you with yours.
Yeah, let's hear yours,
Mm.
guys.
Okay.
Let's judge you on your choices of life. Come on.
Oh boy. I mean, this is on all the list. Obviously, Destiny for obvious reasons. We all stream it. We all play it a lot. We all help people out. So it's brought me Destiny has brought me a lot of friends and a lot of just like-minded for a goal, like a raid, which is no walk in the park. Another one for me, you mentioned Final Fantasy 14. I would have to say mine is Final Fantasy 10.
Okay.
That was
Mm.
Final Fantasy 10, like, that hit all the spots when it came to storytelling. When it came to, like, storytelling and, at the time, those were, like, state-of-the-art graphics. It was just, like, it was unlike any other Final Fantasy game before it. And then, God, like, just like you, this is really last minute now. So,
You had to put that one on
See,
your
it's
sheet.
not nice, is it?
no, absolutely not.
Pete.
Elder Scrolls Online is my other game besides Destiny.
Sorry.
And then the next one I'll also say is like Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I've told this on shows before. When it comes to games, especially online ones, my favorite raids are Destiny, my favorite dungeons are Elder Scrolls Online, and my favorite stories are Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Have you played Star Trek Online at all?
I am not a Trekkie. No, I've seen it played, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay then, shoot me down. Shoot me real down. Real hard.
I've watched it. It looks interesting, but like I'm just not a Trekkie.
Yeah.
So
it's quite an old game. Yeah.
In a lot of these games I'm listing, it just revolutionized like gameplay for me in some way. Like Elder Scrolls Online, I was big into Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. So
Absolutely.
when my younger brother was like, "Hey man, have you tried out this game Elder Scrolls Online?" and I was like, "There's an online one? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll get it for you. Like, check it out." And like been hooked ever since. And then Star Wars: The Old Republic, I mean, before they went completely linear with the expansion storylines, the class storylines, having 8 separate ones, like, that took a lot of work from them. And I've played every single class storyline. I got like 14 characters. Just because it's like, you know what? I haven't played this storyline in a while. The agent one's pretty cool, so I'll make another one just to experience it again. And then my last game, I would actually have to say, would be the first game I ever beat when I was a kid, which was Zelda: A Link to the Past from the SNES.
Yes, man. Yeah, definitely. That's a
That
solid classic.
at the time, that was probably the most open world game you could run into, and it was
Yep.
just a hell of an experience. It was like, oh my god, there's so much I can do, and there's so much different stuff in here. Like, even I tried to play it when I was an adult, and I was nowhere near when I was a kid, but I could finish that within 8 hours on a Saturday when I was like a 10-year-old kid
Oh wow.
without
Tell
dying.
you.
But then the
Wow.
next time I tried it, like in my mid-20s, which is still a while ago, I was like, oh my god, I'm getting my ass kicked. But yeah, those ones all five, Destiny, ESO, SWOTR, Final Fantasy X, Link to the Past, Zelda, revolutionized and like changed gameplay for me in like so many different ways.
Yeah, man.
That's
It
great.
was a solid that's a solid category, a 5 for sure. And of course everyone wants to know what is Carlisle's top 5 games of all time.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
so
I want to know.
Does it have
Yeah.
anything to do with your T-shirt? Can I ask? Because that's a cool T-shirt. You know.
You ready for this?
Hey.
You know what other game he's been playing?
What has he been playing?
Tell me.
The Mario RPG.
Oh yeah, the
That
obvious
is my
story.
number one. That is my
Mm.
number one game of all time is Super Mario RPG. I played it as a kid. That's when they had the remake. I was super stoked. I was going crazy when they said they were finally getting it after all of these years. Since 1996, so it was 96 when it first aired, and everybody was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be great." Best RPG, Mario RPG I ever played. Besides Thousand Year Door, I love that one. My second one would be Star Fox Assault. I love the Star Fox series. That is one of my favorites. Love the game. I think it was ahead of its time. Great, and it was from the people who made what was it? What's the game? Ace Combat 7. They're the ones who made that Star Fox, which is pretty cool. Next one. Of course, I'm gonna have to combine I'm gonna combine that as one the Mass Effect series. Love the Mass Effect series to death. It's just one of those games that it just hit for me, man. The story, solid. The characters, solid. You fall in love with all the characters. You love them. Just everything about it, and just the progression. Each game that you played, just how it just got better and better and better. That's always gonna be in my heart.
Who would you romance?
1,000%. Oh, Ash all day. That's my
Ash all day.
That's my one. Yeah,
I'm
for
in.
sure.
I did too.
Oh yeah, there you go. See, I knew we had something in common.
Except in 2, I was with Tally because
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that much option.
I was a Tally dude.
You don't have that much option. She was like, okay,
yeah.
Let me go with that one. But yeah, for sure, the series, and just like I was geeked for the next one that's coming out as well. But let's see, that was 3. 4 would be, of course, Destiny. I gotta put Destiny. I'm a Destiny guy. I played Destiny.
I don't know if you all see a pattern here yet.
Y'all see this.
Bringing
I
us
know y'all see it in
together,
the chat.
isn't it?
That's why we're all here.
Mhm.
But Destiny, definitely, for sure. Of course, I played the beta of Destiny 1. I was there throughout and just been playing ever since. Loved the game.
Yep.
My fifth game would have to be, this one's hard because I can't really say top 5 like you guys. My top 5 tomorrow will be something different. And you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah. I would have to say, I would say one of my favorites was Sonic 06. A lot of people be like, oh, no.
Oh
that was
my
terrible.
gosh.
But yes, yeah.
Okay, brother, listen. I got mad respect for you saying Sonic 06 because let me just tell you, first of all, I've got about 100 hours in that game, okay?
Yes, me too. Me too.
But that game, whether you love it or not, is fundamentally broken and bad. It is not
Yes.
a good video game.
Absolutely.
It is bad. Like, fall through the map at random times while you're running down the track, bad. It
sounds like the time of my
Drop
life.
all your rings, bad.
It's a bad game. It's a really bad game. But
this is sounding like my Warlord's Ruin
wanna
runs
play it
yesterday.
if you can find a copy of it, for the love of God, play this game because it is so bad you will laugh and have a little bit of fun.
I'm telling you, yes.
That.
Oh my goodness. My roommate and I in college used to go down to the gas station and get 40s and try to play that game for hours.
That's an image.
This sounds like a 40 type of game.
Yes.
Well, this is at the time. This was Sonic 06 released at peak achievement hunting.
Yeah.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
What's a 40, by the way?
A 40-ounce beer.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's a literal 40. Yeah, okay.
Terrible for you, but
terrible
so
for you. They're really terrible for you. But the thing was at that time, like I was one of the many players on Xbox 360 that wouldn't start a new game until I'd 1,000 pointed the game I was on, and that trend kind of faded and whatever. But at that time, like these achievements, it wasn't just about being good at the game. It was about beating the bugs of the game and like just getting through the map without it crashing or you
falling
to the floor. So it was
Ocean Wave.
Man, I can't believe you
all
brought
remember
that game
that
up.
one.
I have
We all remember Ocean Wave.
Oh. Whoa, that's a big one.
Whoa.
Carlisle now knows that I'm not lying, that I actually have indeed played that game.
You are a goat for sure. Loved it. It was bad. It was absolutely bad, but
Terrible
it was fun to play at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun experience, but it was bad at the same time. Love that. Those are mine for sure. But like I said, it could change. It would change for sure.
In his top 5 as well. I must play that now. I'm gonna go find it.
Yep.
What was it on?
Xbox
what was
360.
it on? Xbox.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Xbox 360, PS3. Surprisingly, they had a PS2 version of it. I was actually surprised at that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's crazy.
You could probably find it for 80 cents, and you can now play it on a TI-89 calculator. It's gonna.
Yeah, I know, right?
The
Smeg fridge is coming out to pop it in.
Get your old Android, you can play it on there. I'm telling you.
Getting angry at your smart fridge.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. I can't believe I died.
Yeah. Opens to get the milk out. I can't believe I did that. Yeah. Fell through the map again.
I'm telling you, it was like that for sure. Those days. But folks, we're finally into the Super Bowl of the topics today. So Season of the Wish is finally in. So we finally got a chance to we've been hearing about it, and we know that the rumors were true when it came to Season of the Wish. We're finally in here. We're in the last attempt, so that way we can go ahead and go in the portal. But of course, we already know Sabathun actually stayed true to her word and gave us the answers when it comes to what is the last wish and how to get in the portal, and it's Ribbon. Oh, for surprise, it's Ribbon. And so I do want to ask you, Jared, first. Your first impressions going into the season. How did you feel about it? Even from a narrative and lore perspective, even from just the gameplay and just seeing all the changes, all the sandbox changes and everything. How do you feel going into Season of the Wish?
Season of the Wish, before even going in, since this is going to be the last season, I was like, this has got to be a banger then. Especially since last year I kind of stayed off the game from the seasons, even though they look pretty okay. And then this one I was going, okay, Witch is pretty cool. I mean, I took my breaks from Witch, but that one was still a really good one. But I was like, this next one it's got to cross all the check marks, And, so far, the activities are really cool. I enjoyed having to run through the Last Wish raid, but in a story setting. The Coil is an absolutely amazing arena event. When it for
Amazing.
Season of the Witch, I like the Savathun Spire. The Altars of Summoning were kind of hit and miss with me. Just because I would jump in, and then you got somebody putting it in like the hardest difficulty, and then both your teammates are immediately dead, and I'm like,
depends who you get with
all right,
your
I'm out.
LFG.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
okay, I'm out. Like, so Altars of Summoning was a real hit and miss with me. Coil is hitting all the spots. That is a fun one.
Yeah.
And plus, people are mentioning I still got to do a full coil, but I've seen what the treasure room looks like at the end, and like just visually you feel like you accomplish something every time you do that.
It feels so good, man. I love the coil. I mean, just knowing when you step in there, how many lives do you have? Like 22 or something like that?
21.
You buy more as well.
You already know. You already know what type of activity it was going to be. As soon as you jumped in, I was like, "Uh-oh."
And even the challenges are just the right difficulty. Like with Season of the Witch, I liked that you could pick your difficulty. Of course, when you're a group with 3 people randomly with absolutely no form of communication, like I said, you jump in and you got folks that are like, fresh to the game, putting it in the hardest mode, and I'm like, and it's like, I'm just like, I'm out, like, or we can try and tough through this, and we're gonna make it the easiest, okay? But the coil in Season of the Wish, I think it's the perfect difficulty, especially for like us who are experienced players. It is a really good difficulty, and I don't think it would be difficult that if you had like a new friend jump into the game right now and you showed them this, I don't think it would be difficult to make it that to get it that they understand what's going on and be able to get through it.
Nice, yeah, for sure. You're absolutely spot on with that. Tej, definitely. I definitely want to get your opinion. Jumping into Season of the Wish, how did you feel about the whole thing overall as first impression?
I mean, my first impressions were pretty great. I would say that the experience of getting to interact with an intelligent, ethereal form of Ribbon, is something that I always wondered about. I think as a guardian, you heard all the lore stories about the different characters that interacted with Ahamkara throughout the lore, and I think that was always something that was like, gosh, and we killed the last one. That feels like, man, like I get it. She was taken. She probably needed to happen, but man, I would have liked to just just chat for a minute. Turns out she's kind of rude, which is a bit of a bummer, but
right.
But I'm really happy with I like that Destiny kind of since Witch Queen has found its rhythm with its core cast. I think that there's and there's certain sections, there's pods of characters that go together, which I kind of like. They're not just forcing characters to interact for the sake of them interacting. Like it's I like that this kind of rounds out the year. We started the year with Mara for sure, but we're ending the year with Mara. So there was a lot of Mara this year, which whatever, it's fine. Never a bad thing with more Mara around, but I'm happy to see that we're getting a chance to kind of dive into the Dreaming City again, to dive into Awoken lore, to learn more about Ahamkara, to kind of, to maybe take a huge risk bringing back baby Ahamkaras to do who knows what's going to happen when we do that.
Nothing bad could happen, surely.
Definitely not, dude. Nothing could ever.
Things.
Especially at the end of last season, finding that egg at the end of Imbaru Engine, and then when you first interact with the Riven, you're finding out you have to find more.
Yeah, many more apparently, according to them. So, I mean, and I agree with Jareth. I think that the activity is great. I think that I maybe didn't have quite as much of an aversion to summoning. I thought that I liked its kind of endlessness. Was that I got some catalysts done last season. Let me tell you what, I've sat in there for as long as I needed, and then you just keep going. And you could leave when you want, and sometimes I'd be in there with one other person, and somebody would get dropped in, and they just go find their holograms and leave, and I'm all right. That's cool. Like that, you do what you want to do. Like no big deal. I don't know. I kind of like that little arena style jump in, jump out.
Yeah,
you could just play this for as long as is comfortable. So I'm okay. But I think the coil is a kind of perfect merging of that plus the previous seasons of stuff where we get like a legend version, and you get that opportunity to take on a challenge, but it ramps up, and they think they really aced it. They really nailed it. It hasn't felt this good to me probably since Menagerie. So
facts.
Agreed.
That
Agreed.
is a great take.
Yes.
Great take for sure. I definitely agree with you on that, man. It does feel really good. Them going in that style of activity. I think there was a nice touch for sure. Especially, it really adds more to like the Dream City aesthetic and just overall. Even like the overall changes that they've done to the Dreaming City, they kind of updated a little bit with a blind well, update, being able to get more loops, harder bosses. I love what they did. I think that was a really nice change because we all know we had a little bit of stuff in Dreaming City when we first launched Forsaken, but we didn't get as much as we hoped we would get with that. And this is it's like their time of really starting to do that and give us a hefty amount of content coming out of it. So I'm proud of what they've done for sure so far.
Yeah.
Curry, I definitely want to hear your take. What is your impression of Season of the Wish so far?
Well, I am much along the lines of you guys, absolutely, and I really agree that I think we dusted over the Dreaming City and we didn't get a full look at it, and I'm really glad we get to dive into that more now. I think what I've really liked again about that, Jonathan, Tidra, and yourself were saying is that the last two seasons, Witch and Wish, have felt like Destiny's going in a different direction with their seasonal activities. So that we can stay in longer, that we can either... We needed something that appealed to new players and to the hardcore players, like ourselves, that we could stay in and complete together. So we could either go in and do something, on a one sword last season, or we can go into the coil and run it once this season and be done with it. But if you want to go in again, you can go in 2 or 3 times and up the difficulty each time. And, you can buy different things from Riven to make that easier, or make it more of a challenge for yourself by not buying any of them. And I really like the way that we are starting to get difference in the way things are laid out. I think going and doing that same seasonal model over and over and over again was getting very annoying for a lot of the core players. And I think this new layout so far, touch wood, is seeming, interesting to play. I love that Riven is back. I apologize for what we've done to her left foot repeatedly without doing her legit. I'm so sorry. I do have a little bit of a suspicion that bringing back all of... My friend thought we said X's. We need to go and find Riven's X's. I was like, it's Riven's eggs, not Riven's X's that we're looking for. I don't know if she has many boyfriends and girlfriends. I don't know about that, but it's Riven's eggs, not X's that we're looking for. I don't know that bringing them all back is a hugely good idea. But sod it. They're dragons and they're cute. I would love to see a baby Ahamkara. I don't know about you guys, but I hope there's some kind of emote or, fun little thing that we can do. They're gonna be cute.
Plushies.
I mean, Riven is badass,
yes.
but yeah, plushie baby Ahamkara. I'd take a plushie Riven. I'd take Riven. She damn cute. Apart from those weird blister things, but I'm wondering how Riven will sort of, if she's in her spectral form, in her ghosty shape, knowing that we're getting Cade back in some kind of spectral ghosty shape,
My man.
what do we do? Is the 15th wish getting Cade back? Are we wishing for him back? What are we doing? How does getting Cade back tie in with Riven going into the final shape? That's what I'm wondering next. But I'm really enjoying the new season. I think there's a lot to love. And the new dungeon, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that, is 10 out of 10 for me. And I must say that running the new seasonal stuff as a disabled player, I fed back to... I've only streamed for 2 years now, nearly. 2 years in May that I've streamed for. And for the last year, I fed back to Bungie on accessibility. And in a lot of the previous seasons, there have been bits and bobs that have felt a little bit like, jump puzzles in Vow of the Disciple perhaps were not as evenly lit, for example, things like that. But in this season, it feels like a lot more is being catered to towards playing as somebody that may have a visual impairment. And speaking to the devs as well, there are a lot more things that have been put into the game recently that are for people that have less movement in their body. So things like the auto shoot and auto melee things that came in were designed as accessibility features for people that were unable to perhaps hold the shoot button down for as long, or didn't have as many, if they weren't able to, if they had less limbs, or it's all designed to be able to do it with less. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if there's going to be more of that in this season, and I think there will be. But there's been very little so far, apart from perhaps some lighting things, in the coil, going from the darker rooms into the, the light patches with the take, and where you have to stand and cleanse in the light. That light can be quite bright. Transitions like that. But I haven't seen a huge amount of problems, which is really positive. So I think a lot is changing for the positive in these new seasons, and I'm very happy about it. And dungeon, very good dungeon. 10/10, 10 out of 10.
Agree.
Yeah, for sure.
I do too.
So, Jared, I do want to ask you about the dungeon. How do you feel about the dungeon? Since Carrie gave us the segue, which is nice.
So my before Warlord's Ruin came out, my top one was Prophecy, and it has taken that spot.
Oh, agree. Yeah.
Wow.
Can I just say something? I accidentally tweeted that. Well, I didn't accidentally. We were in the summit and they gave us the name of it, and I was the first person to tweet out the name Warlord's Ruin. I was so terrified that nobody else had tweeted it that I deleted my tweet, because everyone was commenting, "Where have you found this out?" I've never leaked anything in my life, or been the first to say anything. And obviously we were allowed to tell everything from the meeting. But I was
everybody
so
was saying it wasn't that big of a secret.
I was so terrified that I'd done something wrong. I deleted the tweet. So I just find that really funny. Oh God, carry on. Sorry, I'm so embarrassed.
Nope, you're fine. But yeah, so my favorite one before was Prophecy. Even after all the other dungeons releasing, it stayed Prophecy until yesterday. Warlord's Ruin is by far my favorite. The aesthetic is great. The mechanics are very easy to understand, would be very easy to explain to new people. And, I think it's still the right amount of difficulty. I mean, dungeons aren't a walk in the park. It's going to be hard. But I think it is the perfect amount of difficulty. Like I said, the mechanics would be very easy to explain for anybody who had never jumped in before. And just, I mean, you're fighting a dragon on top of a castle. Like, how can you get mad at that? No. Like, I'm all for that. Because, like I said before, games like the Elder Scrolls series and stuff like that, games like that have influenced, like, games I like to play. And, they just added more fantasy element to it. And I think it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely for sure. Great take, man. Really great take. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I really love this dungeon. It's just so cool, the aesthetic, everything. Even down to that sidearm that I really love. Shout out to you, brother. But yeah, that sidearm's amazing.
The rocket firing indebted kindness.
Yeah,
that's that one, isn't it?
Yeah, that one is so good.
It's
really
an interesting little. It's the rocket sidearms are very interesting.
Yeah.
For sure. I do want to ask you also now that we're talking about TJ, I definitely want to ask you the same thing about the dungeon too. Did you love it? What does it rank for you? How you feeling about the dungeon?
Man, dungeon for me is pretty up there. I think that setting, music, mechanics, kind of design, I gotta give it, all top scores across the board. I think that's probably the most interesting they've done. I thought it was gonna be pretty hard to top Ghosts for me because I think just the mysticalness of it. I mean, you're hearing Zivu Arath's enraged eulogy essentially to her brother.
Was that your favorite?
Screamed at you. Like it's a very dramatic, kind of experience, and it's really our first one-on-one with that character. And I'm like, this is a pretty lore-rich dungeon. It's tough to top this. But man, it's kind of like what you said. It's a castle and a dragon. I'm a fantasy nerd, so it's tough to beat the environment of that for me. I think the only points I might dock from the dungeon for this in this case is I understand having gear more rooted in reality. It was obviously something that we're calling back to the time of the warlords and the Iron Lords and pre-Guardians. And I understand if we're finding this gear in the castle, it's probably more akin to older and more practical stuff for sure. However, we did just have a dungeon where we literally were dripping in liquid magic and lit candles on our bodies, and like it was like a very I'm like, man, like there's a big change there. And I'm not saying that the ghost armor is the pinnacle of dungeon armor, because I admittedly I don't wear it, but I think it was awesome looking. But I think I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of a fantasy embrace with the armor and weapons, a little bit more of that knights and dragons and that kind of stuff. I think. But other than that, I mean, really, I'm thrilled with it. I think the special sidearm class being kind of introduced into the game is a really exciting thing. The dialogue that you get from finding the bones in subsequent runs and stuff is really lore rich and very interesting. Yes. And just really like it's just fun. It's just I love taking people through it, and I think it's a easy 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me.
I do like the quest. I think the quest out of any dungeon quest is the most how would I say it? It's the most involved one. Like there's actually that something goes along with it and makes you have to run it over and over instead of a one and done. And I really like what they did with it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I definitely love what they've done so far. I think it's really great, especially implementing that quest. It makes you work for it, and just the secrets in the whole dungeon, man. It's great, man. And it just, especially like the traps, is hilarious.
Oh god,
just going to those treasure chests and then boom, pops out screams. Oh no, we're done. I mean, just the little things about that really excites me every time I go in there. It's just like it's amazing. Yeah, trust me. That final boss, it was something. That final boss is definitely something. When it comes
the
to
arena for that final boss is like one of the best ones.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
And I think too, they was like, okay, we're gonna go all in when it comes to this aesthetic, because even if we look at I would say Ghost of the Deep, right? They were trying something new with the dungeons, and I liked it from an aesthetical point. Looked great. Fighting the Lucent Hive and everything, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just the difficulty of it is what I like. And with this, they took it up a notch. We're gonna do it, and I feel like even the sidearm, that's more exotic than what we're about to get with the actual exotic in the. I was like, ooh. I thought you guys said you guys not bringing pinnacle weapons back again, and it's a new archetype. Let's go! Yeah, I love it, man. I'm definitely enjoying it. So far, guys, definitely want to give you guys overall for first impressions right now. What do you rate it right now as far as the other seasons is concerned? Teach.
This is the best season of the year for sure. I haven't been this excited about a season and its content since Seraph, which I thought was an excellent cap to last year. And prior to that, I think Lost was the best season they've ever done. So I think that these end of the year seasons seem to be their bangers. And, I didn't think it was going to get better than Lost. And then we had Seraph. And then, after Seraph, now we have this. And I feel like it's that we get this really, there's a lot. They seem to end these years really strongly. So I'm hoping that the season continues to deliver.
Nice.
I always tell people that getting getting into the game. I'm like, the season that comes out with the expansion is amp, but by the end of the year, you are going to be stunned.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. They're doing a really good job with this so far. I'm loving it. Uh, Definitely for me the best season so far right now. I'm loving everything about it right now. The guns, the quality of life changes they've made. Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it for sure. Carly, what you think?
Yeah,
What you give
I
it?
was just gonna say about the dungeon that I agree with what Tej was saying about them slightly a bit of a disengage with the armor set. I thought I agree with that. That I think that the whole theme of the dungeon was quite oldie worldy, and then we had sort of glow sticks on the armor, and perhaps there could have been a little bit of. I mean, I like the glow sticks, but perhaps there could have been
Sure.
a little bit more of a feel that it felt a bit like the Christocrene set from
It very much
Europa,
did. Yeah.
and it
Very
didn't
much did.
feel like
Yeah.
dungeon armor. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to feel like I'd got a bit more from it, and like, oh my god,
Yeah.
the dungeon armor. I need to put this on now because that's what I usually do. I agree with you guys that Prophecy was definitely my favorite before. But this is now 100%. I've spent 17 hours Sherpering this dungeon so far.
Wow.
I've done 10 Sherpas, including my own run of it, which we did blind. And I don't know how we managed to get out of the jail cell, but we did. It took half an hour, and I loved the tweet by Joe of Azracross, Paul Tassie's tweet that said it took Azracross 10 minutes to take the first boss down, then half an hour in the jail cell. And Joe tweeted back in a reply, Joe Biden, we got him. I just love that. But yeah, I think the dungeon for new players is going to be really good. From Sherpering it for that long, it's been fantastic. I've done it with people that have a lot of disabilities, and then people that have just not played very long, as well as people I played with for a long time. And we could do it in the quickest amount of time. And then it's very in depth with the lore. I love as well. I think the final part of the quest, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it made me feel so strongly and warmly towards one of the characters that we've gotten to know a little better. As to their reasons why on the certain subject that you get to at the end of the quest. I did feel that when we went back to the tower and handed, into Ikora at the end, it was a bit of an anticlimax. Like, you just hand the question at the end and that's it. She doesn't say anything, it's just a hand in. So it did feel a bit anticlimactic. I also feel about this season, I'm a bit sad we didn't get another exotic piece of armor. Maybe it's still to come. We didn't, not necessarily in the dungeon, but I don't think we've got a new piece out, for each class just yet. But yeah, this season as a whole, I think, is going really well. I think it had to go really well given recent events. I think everyone at Bungie must be working with a stick to their bum and a carrot in their face. I think they really must, they really have to be going
It's a
for
very
it,
intense visual.
Yeah, I know, right? I just see Joe running around like that. But I really think they have to make sure you get that the right way around as well, because it would be horrible the other way around. The carrot to the bum would be, nightmare. But yeah, I really think it has to work because, we've lost a lot of trust in Bungie, and I don't think anyone's ashamed to say that. It's a very human fact when there are faces there like Liana and Sam Bartley, who are our two very prominent CMs that are now no longer there, and so many other great people, very human stories like Lynn, I think her name was, who designed the Halo logo, I think it was, and some of the original characters' names in Halo, name them, are now no longer with Bungie, have been affected by the layoffs. And obviously all of our thoughts go out to them, especially this Christmas as well, and in winter when we struggle anyway. And I really hope that they are able to get help if they need to. But I really think that the game had to land, and I continue to play it for the people that are still there. As I said before, it is a family member. I don't like, what is happening internally, but it is a game as well that I enjoy playing. If I didn't play the games that had management or other issues, if I stopped buying things from, companies that, for example, if they had palm oil or things like that, if they cut down trees, I would have no food, no clothes, and no, anything. Do you know what I mean? If we
Yeah.
didn't associate with people that had any form of anything, then we'd have nothing. It's a very sad situation to be in because we'd like to stop supporting, people that, do things that aren't necessarily in a positive way. But I don't think people should be shamed for continuing to play the game. I just really hope that management see that we are very upset with how things were handled. I hope the gaming community as a whole can help devs, evolve from this and, so this doesn't happen. This isn't a common theme because it seems to be at the moment. And I really hope Bungie are, I think they will be running around like the house is on fire trying to make this amazing. And if it's like the dungeon is, then, it can only be positive from here,
Mhm.
hopefully. Hopefully, touch wood, fingers crossed. I'm sorry for ranting on. I just, there's
You're fine.
we're all so passionate, aren't we? And I'm British. I talk a lot. I apologize.
Well, we appreciate you and appreciate you on your take for that. Also, well, looks like we finally made it to the end of the show, and what we always like to do is a last wrap up, which is also we call it the floor is yours. So, what we're gonna do is tell us where we can find you and everything like that. So, TJ, where can they find you? What you got coming up?
You can find me on Twitch most of the time. Big Daddy Tej on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter, which I won't. That's the only name I'll ever call it, and it's BD Tej on there. Don't go find Big Daddy Tej. I don't know who runs that account, but they wild.
That's my alt. Sorry. It's my alt account.
I've been mistagged a couple of times, and that dude.
He's not happy with you, is he?
Don't. Anyway, he's got some stuff going on. It doesn't matter. He's so BD Tej on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm Big Daddy Tej on TikTok. I like to spend a lot of time on TikTok. I do some videos up there. And I would love to get to know you if you watch the show and you want to hang out and talk about Destiny. We had a little anime chat earlier. Destiny is my sword art. It's where I log in just to simply exist in that world.
What is your favorite impression from your TikTok? I saw you do amazing impressions. Can you do one that is your favorite? I would love to hear one right now if you can pull them out and I know some people can't.
There's a couple I can do on demand.
Oh
my favorite one is probably. My favorite one to do is Shax. I think because Shax is a pretty intense guy. So be between Shax and Drifter.
I bet your wife is thrilled when you pull that out.
I think she's probably sick of it
by
now.
Guardian.
It's an intense. Yeah, I love doing Shax. Although I did the other day, I had a special request when I was sherping a raid that they wanted me to present the mechanics as Saladin, and that was kind of an interesting, fun challenge.
I need to raid with you.
I always do a great Zavala. Everyone loves when I do a Zavala.
Oh, do it!
Voice.
Both of you, I want to hear them. Oh my goodness, go on, P.
You gotta do one for sure.
Yeah.
Shax, what are you doing now?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
That was so
good.
That was, oh my goodness, that was so good. That inflection, wow.
Yeah,
we thought the witness was the end of the universe.
Wow.
But now we take hold. We must fight to the end, or we may be ready.
Oh my goodness. They should have called you, bro. I was just going to say, move over. Call P. Carlisle. What would Shax say in reply, Tej?
Let's see. What did you ask me? Ask what I'm doing?
Yeah. What are you up to, Shax? Yo, girl, what's up?
Why don't you mind your own business?
So good.
What I'm doing has no consequence to you, Zavola. You send the Guardians off on their Vanguard missions, and I'll send them into the Crucible.
Oh my god, your English is incredible. It's so good. It's
Perfect.
really
much.
good. Wow, you could be my brother. Wow.
Amazing.
That's
Amazing,
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, it's the voices are fun.
I love
It's,
that.
Oh, yeah.
but that's a man. If I closed my eyes, I'd have thought we had the
I
man himself
know.
here sitting in
Both
there. That's
of you.
crazy, dog.
Both of you.
We're gonna have to
spot
collab
on.
on a TikTok. You have to hook me up with some Zavala impression.
Here
Well,
it
man,
is.
not that good. I'm about to
We
retire
gotta do
Zavala
that.
now that I know P's watching my TikToks.
I'm taking my
I'm not doing
royalty
Zavala
from
anymore,
setting you
man.
guys up now. Here we go.
We gotta do that. We gotta do like a whole little voice reel type of little conversation. That'd be great.
That would be
And
lovely.
then I'm sorry, but the only voice I can bring is my own character, Jareth the Hillbilly Hunter.
Oh, oh wow.
Wow, he sounds like a real treat.
Oh God, have you been hanging out with me for the last couple hours?
I love that.
And that's him.
I love
That's
that.
him in the flesh.
Oh.
So, Carly, how can
Yeah.
we find you and what you got going on?
Yeah, well, I don't have a schedule, unfortunately. With my brain condition, I can be quite off and on with how I feel day to day. But you can find me on my Twitch, which is Carrie Murph, Carimurph. And I'm the same on Twitter, like Tej. I won't call it anything, but Twitter, I mean, X is something I don't really want to remember. I don't think we want to, even Riven doesn't remember her X's. Come on now. No, but yeah, I'm mostly on Twitter too. I'm chronically online on Twitter and on Twitch. So those are the main places. But I do have a really thriving Discord where we do a lot of Sherpa and get-togethers. We have movie nights, all sorts of stuff. We have a clan as well. You don't have to be part of the clan to get help. And I do just quickly want to mention Guardians Mental Health. I'm an ambassador for them. They're a fantastic organization.
They are.
Christmas and winter can be, this time of year, especially with things like seasonal affective disorder, can be a really tough time financially, with our mood and different things. They have a lot of, they're basically for gamers. Guardian is in the title, but it's for any gamer, anyone, and there's a great website, and it will offer you mental health packs and other great resources. I do recommend going checking the website out, and you can find help near you as well as on the website. So there's always somebody out there who will talk to you, and I really recommend reaching out and just checking them out. And even if you don't now, there's somebody there for you if you ever do need it in future. But thank you
Awesome,
for
awesome,
having
awesome.
me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I've always been a massive fan of Tej as well, and I just want to say I've been starstruck sat here with you. No, seriously, it has been an honor. When I saw his name flash up on the summit, I thought, we have to mention that as well. Don't think you're getting away with that easily, Tej, from what you said in the summit. But when we're in the summit, I saw his name pop up, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've made it.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious. I'm serious. They were the most amazing
sweet.
people there, including him. And I thought, this is somebody that I've watched for a long time, and I just feel like wow, I'm so honored. So just thank you for sharing this space with me tonight as well. It's been awesome, and I hope we can play
It has been
soon.
incredible. I feel the same. The conversation's been great. I love the energy you bring to these, and I hope that we get to play Destiny sometime.
Absolutely. And I'm going to watch Sword Art, I promise. I'll do my homework.
Please watch this.
Yeah.
It's good.
We got that anime podcast.
Yeah.
But I appreciate all y'all for joining for sure. And also, Jareth, I just want to get you. How can people find you? What you got going on, man?
Yep, twitch.tv/Jareth_Darkheart. That is where you will find me playing mostly Destiny 2, Tuesday through Saturday. My big thing is doing PvE help, so whether it's your GMs, your dungeons, your raids, we'll get you through whether you're a first-timer or you just need a group to play with. You can also find me at Jareth on Twitter, so you can find out when I'm on there as well. But PvE is my big thing. I love teaching people. Like, we can knock out whatever you need. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take.
Yeah, when are we raiding, guys? Like, I can feel this coming
Yeah.
on now. With
Who's got
only
time?
Shax and Zavala,
Let's do it.
voices. Let's go.
Earlier when we were talking, there's been people in my Discord that, like I said, when we were talking about like trials and stuff earlier, and I'm like, a raid Saturday, that's no big deal. Like, I literally have people in my Discord. I'll be like, who wants to do a quick last wish? And I've got people who are like, what do you mean quick? And I'm like, dude, my fastest is like 40 minutes. Like, let's go.
Well, you're raid leading then. I just think you
Yep.
volunteered for that,
Maybe. Damn.
Sure,
Not again.
Well, you also, guys, of course, you already know you can find me, P. Carla Gaming, on Twitch and TikTok. You can also find me with the P. Carla Gaming too. Also, I'm always posting motivational stuff and upcoming shows. So if you guys are interested, definitely follow me there. And we always have a good time. And also next week, Saturday, is All Things Gaming live podcast. So definitely join us for that. We're going to be talking about the Game Awards, which is coming up. So we're gonna do a lot of things with that. So hey, you're definitely gonna want to tune in. We got a lot to talk about with that. But so we finally made it to the end, y'all. So I gotta give the old mission clear. So we made it.
We've arrived, Guardians.
We made it, y'all. We arrived. So I appreciate y'all for coming. Again, this has been an amazing show. Love you guys, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and read off Mr. Cloud Valentino. He's playing Elden Ring. Tell him that the Last City Radio Center, and we appreciate you guys, and we are out of here. So
thank you so much,
everybody,
guys.
for joining.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Been fun.
you.
See y'all.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon.